It's Neil from Mighty Little Green Machine. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a really long time since I made a video. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and at some point I'll explain it all to you guys, but I'm going to try and get back into it. Today's video is going to be a 360-hour review of my 2025R. It's been worked pretty hard, I can say, and it needs to be cleaned, and it needs some love. I haven't done anything to it yet because I wanted to kind of show you guys the whole thing. I'm also, in an upcoming video, going to be doing a complete maintenance on it, including changing the coolant. I know I've done it before, but I'm going to do some extra things this time that I haven't done in the past. And I'm also going to do a video very soon of all of the items that I've added to this tractor, what I like, what I don't like, what I wouldn't do again, now that I've got 360 hours of using it all. So let's get started. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick walk around and kind of show you what kind of shape it's in after 360 hours. It's actually held up really well. If you look at the floorboards, they're not worn really at all. The paint's come off the pedals, but that's pretty normal. You know, it's got scratches and stuff in it. The wheels have held up very, very well. You can see I'm starting to tear the tires up a bit. But I assure you that some of this has been really hard hours. Okay, so let's start off with what I like and actually love about this tractor. I guess the first thing I would have to mention is that it really works out of its weight class. It really, really does. I think that this tractor does a lot more than, at least I think, a 25 horse tractor should do. It just is, it's a workhorse. No matter what I give to it, it keeps going. The things that it hasn't done for me are things that I had no business trying to do with it and knew that it probably wouldn't. But I've also done, if you've watched my channel and all, you've seen I've moved some pretty huge rocks and done a lot of stuff with it that I just didn't think it would have done. So I do love that. I love the fit and finish as far as how it's designed. It's comfortable. It's easy to see the gauges. All of the controls are easy to use. I can spend all day in the seat running the bucket or the whatever, and I'm very, very comfortable. It's super easy to operate. I find it to be very, very forgiving. I find it to be very stable. Now, I say that, but that's after I put wheel spacers on it. I definitely was not crazy about it before I had the wheel spacers. But with the wheel spacers, I'm so comfortable on this tractor, probably too comfortable. It has never not started for me. The only problems that I've had with the tractor since I got it, I had defective hydraulic hose on the backhoe. The coupling leaked that I ended up just fixing myself because I didn't have 2 weeks to leave it at the dealer to have them warranty it. And then there's another hose that I think that I broke when I got it stuck and bottomed it out. I'm not totally sure that one was leaking and I didn't just pick the wrong hose originally, but I've done 2 hydraulic hoses on it. I did have a situation last winter moving some snow where I ran it out of fuel and it wouldn't restart. And it turns out it's because the little filter underneath the floorboard had gotten really, really full of debris. Which surprised me because I use a 55-gallon plastic tank from Vevor with an electric pump on it and a nozzle. And I buy off-road diesel, and I buy it from the same place in the new tanks. So I was a little bit surprised by the by the debris because I fill it directly out of that. I don't ever put it into a jerry can and then fill it, but I guess that's what happens. Been real happy with the size of it. I've been able to do side jobs that just couldn't have been done with a larger machine. This was like kind of the limit. I've done some work in some really small yards that I couldn't have done if I had a bigger tractor. So I do like that, and I like it a lot. I like some of the upgrades that were for this year, like having the spaces for the switches. Those have worked out well. We'll talk more about that later. The PTO is easy to use. That works out well for me. You know, the fuel gauge has been accurate. For those of you that have watched the channel for any period of time, my 1025, which ended up getting bought back by the dealership, the fuel gauge was very inaccurate even after they replaced it. And this one has been really, really good. I've only run out of fuel once, and that was entirely my fault because I wasn't paying attention and I was pushing my luck. I like the fact that all the lights are LED. That works out well. The operating station's comfortable. I can get on and off of it very easily. I find that very, very, very good as well. I will tell you that I still love these hybrid tires. I can't imagine having anything else. These things have been absolutely amazing. They don't tear up the lawn. They get better traction than the ag tires. You know, mud, snow. Other than when I've put it in places it shouldn't have been, I've never had a problem with these tires. I would absolutely replace these tires when they're bad with the exact same thing again. And if I ever get another tractor, these are the tires that I would want to run. So I love that as well. I love the ground clearance on this. I've had really no problems at all with where I've gone. I've gone places that I couldn't go in my 1025. It was a little bit shorter, obviously. But there's really nowhere that I haven't been able to get this thing that I needed to get it. I do love that very, very much. Okay, let's talk about some of the things I don't like. First of all, I really dislike this, I guess, kickstand, for lack of a better word. On both of my tractors, my 1025 and now my 2025, I have bent this thing more times, not taking it on and off, just using the tractor. Stuff gets caught up on it and it bends it, and I have to bend it back. You can see where it's kind of been flexed, and I had to brought it back. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. Yes, it's super easy to take the loader on and off, but just not a fan of this thing. I'm not a fan of the lift capacity of these tractors. I just think that there's so many other tractors out there that have a much higher lift capacity. And I know I'm going to get comments saying, well, that's to keep the tractor safe and all that. Well, maybe so. But I know that this tractor, to me, should lift a lot more than it lifts. And that was the same true, obviously, in my 1025. I really wish that John Deere would up the lift capacity. I don't like this. This falls right off. For what we pay, and those of you that have Deeres or Kubotas know we pay a premium. We pay a lot more money than some of the other brands out there. I don't think I should have this kind of quality problems or these types of things on the fit and finish. These should be lasting forever. Same with this. I just don't. I don't think that, maybe I'm wrong, but I have not abused that switch. I have not abused my lever. So not a fan of that at all. I also do not love that you cannot get extra functions on the back of this tractor, that you can't get rear remotes. There are so many things that I use the rear remotes for. One of the things that is so indispensable is my hydraulic top link. Some of these attachments I couldn't even use without it. The other thing I don't like is the way the three-point hitch is designed. Some of the implements just don't go up high enough unless I use the hydraulic top link, and that's where I use it a lot. Is to bring this in like this, and that way I'm able to get the implement up in the air. Another thing that I really like about this machine is the backhoe. It's super easy to get on and off. Yeah, would I like if it had more power? I would. However, with that being said, I've done so much digging with my backhoe. You know, I know there's debate. It's that it's a waste and blah, blah, blah. I haven't found that to be the case. I've found it to be tremendously helpful, especially for someone like me that can't afford a Mini X and a skid steer and a tractor. This gives me everything I need in one package, and it makes it easy. I would not buy another compact, subcompact tractor without a backhoe. I just wouldn't. I've done so much digging. I just did a job recently that I had to go down 4 feet, 26 feet long, and put a drainage pipe in. I had no problems at all. Took me very little time to get it done. And the nice thing about this tractor and the backhoe and the smaller bucket is the fact that I can dig a narrow trench, that I don't need it to be really wide. So I was able to just dig it. I only had to put a 2.5-inch pipe in it. So I was able to dig it really deep and run that down. Okay, so we've gone through what I feel are the good points and the bad points. I'm sure I missed some things. Overall, I've been extremely happy with the tractor. Would I buy it again? I wouldn't not buy it again, I guess. Let me explain that. I don't regret buying this tractor, but I definitely think I would look at other options if I was going to buy a tractor tomorrow. I just think that there are some options out there that are less expensive, that have some more capabilities, and would allow me to have more tractor for the same money. Maybe not less, but I could have more tractor. So if you're looking at a John Deere, I'm not discouraging you from buying one. They are a very good product. There's a few things that, like I said, that I have a problem with. The fit, like that headlight switch and the other thing coming off. That's what I would expect from a less expensive tractor line, not from John Deere, but it is what it is. I really have had no problems with this tractor to speak of, other than the little bit of problem with one hydraulic line. It runs and starts every time. It's never let me down. You know, like I said, it's got 360 hours on it now. So I can't speak other than 1025, 2025. Those are the two I've owned. If you're looking at one of those tractors, just weigh out your options. Really good. I think it's worth going to the 2025, unless you've got a really small yard. Just for mere ground clearance, you know, I think that makes a big difference. I used to bottom out my 1025. I also highly recommend buying it up front with the backhoe. It's too expensive to add, or much more expensive to add the backhoe after the fact. I don't think you'll regret it. Like I said, I find a ton of things that I do with the backhoe. But that's all for now for this video. It's great being back with you all. I've got a bunch of new videos planned. I've got one actually already shot. I just got to edit. So hopefully I can stay ahead of it a little bit. I thank you all for watching the channel, and I hope this helped you in some way. And I'll see you next time on Mighty Little Green Machine.